Alright, what's up everybody? Random card stuff here, and I have a different kind of video this time. This is going to be a deck profile for Cardfight Vanguard. I wasn't able to get any sealed product this time because of time and money constraints. School just started and the week was kind of hectic. But I wanted to give you guys a video, so I'm going to try to do a deck profile. Not sure how well I'll do it, but going to try anyway. So this is going to be a Cardfight Vanguard deck tutorial for the Prism Bermuda Triangle deck. For those who have watched my other videos, I opened a few Banquet of Diva boxes and I ordered a few other singles online to make this deck. It's actually really easy to do if you're just getting into it, because all of the cards you can get just in one box, which is Banquet of Divas. So Bermuda Triangles is a pretty good way to start out if you wanted to get into Vanguard. So I'm going to start with the grade zeros, then go 3, 2, and 1. So I run a pretty standard 8 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. I'm getting a kind of weird glare there. Let's try to... So 4 draw and 4 heal. It's really kind of standard for Vanguard decks nowadays. For the grade 3s, I run 4 Labradors. I feel like 4 Labradors and 4 Prism Image Wierds are needed in the deck. They are a very necessary part of the deck. You need the break rides whenever you can, and you also need Labrador whenever you can. So I've seen some lists that only run 3 Labradors, but I feel like it's wrong because, I don't know, I just feel like this is the reason the deck wins, and you always want to draw it. Even if you draw multiples, she's an 11k rear guard, so that's still fine. For grade 2s, we have 2 Rosas, Prism's Image Rosa. She's decent when you attack, when you have a limit break. She has 11k. She's not the best grade 2 in the world, but I'm trying her out. She's worked okay for me. I'm considering moving around my grade 2s a little, actually. Next we have 3 Celtics. I only run 3 of her. I'll get to that a little later. I really don't like to have a lot of her out. I like to have 1 on the rear guard circle to use her ability when you break ride, which Wiert's break ride is you return 2 Bermuda Triangle rear guards, and her ability is when she's returned to the hand, you may Soul Blast to give a Bermuda Triangle plus 4,000 power. I run 3 Prism Romance Lumiere. I would actually rather run 4 of her, but I do not have 4 at the moment. I'm going to swap 1 of her out for 1 of my Ligurians. Ligurian is the 10k vanilla. I run 3 of her at the moment. I'd rather run 2 of her, 2 Rosa, and 4 Lumiere. So hopefully I'll be able to fix that later. Next we have 4 Mercure. Mercure is just like Lumiere. I didn't say what Lumiere did. Both of the Prism Romance, if you have a Bermuda Triangle, or if you have a, Prism Vanguard, she gains an extra 3,000 power. So Lumiere becomes 12k and Mercure becomes 10k. I really like Mercure because you can play her late game against a 10k Vanguard and still be able to attack unboosted. So I feel like she's a very necessary addition to the deck as well. Now, the reason I don't run 4 Celtics is because I run 4 Clears. Clear has the same ability as Celtic, where if she is returned to the hand, you Soul Blast and you get plus 4,000 power to a Bermuda Triangle, one Bermuda Triangle unit. I feel like she's better than Celtic in the way that she's much more safe. You would generally play her as a booster and not as an attacker, and boosters are much harder to kill. Next we have 4 Perfect Guards. I feel like this is a necessary addition in the deck. there's a lot of cross rides, a lot of decks like Dragonic Overlord where you're really going to need to perfect guard when you need it, and I feel like 3 is too little. And finally, we have 2 Prism Promise Let. I'm not sure how I feel about 2. I'm considering just dropping down to my 1 SP, but I'm running 2 for now because I feel like I'd rather run the Prism over the other grade 1s. And getting an 11k boost is very huge late game, and you can push for final turn. But it's all up to choice at this point. Something I'd like to discuss as well is how the deck really works. One of the main things you're going to want to do is you want to get up into Vert. Preferably this is always your first grade 3 ride, so that when you break ride Labrador over her, you can return up to 2 Bermuda Triangle rear guards, which can trigger abilities like Clear and Celtic, and then your starting Vanguard can bounce to the hand whenever another Bermuda Triangle is bounced to your hand, so she bounces for free, which would open 3 slots for her Limit Break, which if you call 3, you can call up to 3 Prisms from your hand, and if you call 3, she gets an additional plus 10,000 and 1 critical, which can be game ending in a lot of situations. You also can counterblast 1 Prism in your damage zone to return 1 unit, which you can also use with your starter. I'll also go over some substitutions if you don't have some of the cards or want to run something else. Here are some other things I've seen in deck lists. There's Sweet's Harmony Mona. When she gets put on a rearguard circle, you counterblast 1 and return a Bermuda Triangle to your hand. She can get off Clear and Celtic, but she's not a Prism herself, and she wastes a counterblast. So I really don't know how I feel about this card. I've seen her run as a 1-of sometimes, probably for emergencies, but I really don't like her. There's Mermaid Idol Felucia. I think she's okay. She soul charges when she comes into play, but once again, she's not a Prism, so you really don't want to see her in your damage zone. But soul charging to set up for other plays like extra Clear, extra Celtic, or extra Let triggers is something to look into. And if you don't want to run an extra Prism Promise Let, or if you don't want to run either of them, this would probably be a grade 1 to invest in. I've seen some people talk about the Pearl Sisters. I'm really not a fan of them because you generally need both to make them effective, and they're both not Prisms. I know I kind of sound biased saying, oh, they're not Prisms, so they shouldn't be in the deck, but it's how the deck works, and putting less Prisms in the deck kind of hurts it. Then there's Girls Rock Rio. I'm actually almost considering running her myself. I was looking into her, and I feel like I might take out a Rosa or something for her. When she's returned to the hand from the rear guard, you can counterblast 1, soul charge 1, and you draw a card. So you get an extra soul charge for your Celtics and Clears, but you also get to draw a card, and card advantage is so huge, especially in a Bermuda Triangle deck, when you want to have as many cards in your hand to guard or to call for Labrador's Limit Break. So if you don't have all the grade 2s, or you want to run something different, or maybe something surprising, or if you just like the art, I would recommend trying a Girls Rock Rio or 2. She's not a very great attacker, she's only 8k, but I feel like she's decent. Actually, I have only like a minute left. Let me read Labrador. Okay, so you can't bounce her with Labrador, so you would have to bounce her off Vert's trigger. I still think she might be an interesting 1-of, because you can break ride and then bounce her to your hand and draw an extra 2 cards for the turn. But yeah, that's my deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It probably wasn't the best, and I hope the sound quality is okay because there's fans running everywhere because it's really hot. But yeah, wanted to get a video out for you guys, and hope you all enjoyed it.